Hello everybody and welcome to QuestKeep presents Whispers in the Twilight, a Candela Obscura story. I'm your lighthouse keeper, Kevin Parr, aka Dice Cream Sandwich, and before we get started, we would just like to acknowledge that we are playing here today on the traditional territories of the Musqueam Nation, and we are privileged to create, work, and play on these beautiful lands, everyone. We will be beginning our story tonight. Through the one-shot adventure provided by the Candela Quick Start Guide from Darrington Press, and we've kind of modified, add our own little spins to that. And then for sessions 2 and 3, all completely written by us, and we'll see where we go from there. This actual play is also in partnership with our good friends over at the Make-A-Wish Foundation for their Roll for Wishes campaign. You're going to see a layout here on the screen. That means the fundraiser is open. Donations can be accepted through interacting with the screen or on your laptop. We also have rewards for hitting certain tier donations, which you'll find that information in the live chat over here. And if you're not watching this live and you're watching this on YouTube, there will be a link in the description for you to continue to donate after the fact. Make-A-Wish is an amazing organization that helps to create life-changing wishes for children all around the world, and we could not be more thrilled to be partnering with them for these games. And for our lovely storytellers here, I'm just going to introduce them super quick so we can get into all the spooky funness. Over here we have Arcane Anthems, Dale
Hey,
Kingsmill, Gabe James,
Hi.
Jason Charles Miller,
Hello!
and Momo O'Brien.
Hello.
Hello. All right. And don't think there's anything left else to get through, so grab your favorite drinks, grab your favorite sets of dice as we dive into tonight's chapter, Dressed to Kill. Okay. A riot of sound radiates from the New Fair World Exhibition. Where once these city streets were filled with the screaming of civilians, there is now the laughter of children. The echoing of gunfire has been replaced with the pop, pop, pop of roasting caramel corn. The explosions of enemy bombs are now the crackling of electrified inventions. Even 3 years after the war, it feels almost incongruous to hear the wild noise of happiness. You carry with you, as all Halen citizens do, the weight of the great last war on this Memorial Day. In celebration of the military implementation of electricity, the incredible power that forced Otherware to withdraw from the region, New Fair hosts an exhibition of advancement every year. Today, the district of Briar Green is a new world. Transformed by colorful flags, each street is lined with the stalls of a pop-up market, and children scurry among the crowd dressed in their finest. On display, there's row after row of inventions, the likes of which you have never seen. Come see the electromagnetic elevator. Use radar technology to find your missing sheep, madam. Tired of buttoning your shirt for work every day, sir? Try the amazing zipper and get your morning back. Best of all, the entire district smells of cotton candy and caramel corn. When we finally make it through the cacophony of Briarbank College in this exhibition hall, the world seems to forget the rules by which it operates. Here, the bright sun is dimmed by dust-filled darkness, and the outside noise is compacted into a weighty hush. The hall is filled with the whispering of industrial giants exchanging vast sums of money. The inventions in these rooms are titanic. The very air smolders with a static buzz. Electric screams silence the speakers with the regular statico, sending the bravest eyes looking up to the lightning that dances across the ceiling. We wander in silence through the gallery, listening to the daring inventors perched on bespoke stages, evangelizing their work. If you'll stand over here, sir, there's... there now, don't be afraid. The x-ray machine will only show us your bones, nothing more. But you'll have to hand me the items in your pocket, sir. Thank you. I've always wanted a gold watch. There are flyers throughout the hall of a bright, almost iridescent green. In the dim light, the pages seem to glow. and in the electric flashes, they nearly sparkle. We follow them like a trail of breadcrumbs to a massive crowd. High on the stage before us stands a beautiful woman, Vera Montgomery, swirling in a glowing green dress. She's a beam of light incarnate as she parades before a massive sign, a word painted in the same eerie green hue, Undark. Over the gasps from the crowd, we cannot hear the voice of the man who stands with her, but it's clear that he's highlighting the features of the pigment. He gestures around the room as if to say, "You need no light but the one we provide. In our Undark, you are the light." The crowd erupts in cheers, pulling the attention of the entire hall. In this cacophony, it takes a moment to hear the model's screams. But her cries grow louder and more piercing over the enthusiasm of onlookers and the crash of electricity. All at once, a hush blankets the hall. Gaping red sores open across the woman's skin, crawling from beneath the undark dress in deep fissures of pain. The model stops screaming, holding her hand up before the crowd. Within her hand, her bones glow green. The terrible mirroring of the x-rays on display only a few feet away. As we watch, the bones within each finger fall, disconnected, towards her wrist until her flesh hangs like a glove. The cascade of disconnecting bones runs down her arm, then her spine, then her legs, till what once was a beautiful woman is a pooling mass of writhing flesh. In the end, there's nothing but a pile of red viscera and the most beautiful green dress the world has ever seen. Looming above the body like a promise, the glowing sign reads, Undark. Cutting from that, we move forward, and you are all on a train. As your circle had gone to this exhibition already, doing some further investigation, you've asked some of the inventors that were packing up their wares, asking about the green dress, where it might have come from. This led you to a package with an address within the crate that the dress came from. In the town of Morton Springs, inside of the Bridleburn Mountains, where you are currently headed. As the city lights fade and you start to go into the rocky terrain to the mountainside, you're all sitting in your own private car within the train, steam wisping past the windows, rain smattering against the glass next to you. You are heading towards one address the package had on it, that of the Radiance Corporation. One of their main factories is nestled in Morton Springs. This is where the thread has led you to, but where we go from here is up to all of you. So, a circle of investigators. So you're sitting in this compartment. I'm going to address each of you, and you're going to tell me your character name, what they look like, and what they're currently doing. We'll start with Arcane Anthems.
In a thick leather vest, gray-colored, you can see this large gentleman holding a lighter, flicking it back and forth, feeling the heat of the flame coming off of it with the click, clack, crimson red pants and dark boots, click, clack. This is my character, Tony Mulligan, an ex-sailor. You swear you can still smell the fish on him whenever he walks past you. And I'm sitting back, observing the light, and you all see it flickering off of his semi-bearded face. Bit unkempt, bit unshaven. Back and forth, lit. unlit.
Perfect. Sounds great. Dale Kingsville.
You see a young woman, quite conservatively dressed, well dressed, a high collar, a coat, sort of keeping her warm. She's got around her neck a locket that, if you looked closely enough, you see has sort of an engraving of the tree Idrisil, sort of branches stretching up and roots stretching down. And she's, she's young, but she looks tired, and she's sort of flipping through a newspaper that she's already looked through for any relevant information, but just in case there's something that she missed, she's flipping through it again feverishly. And this is Clara Valentine.
Awesome. I love that description of the pendant. Moving over to Gabe.
You see a younger gentleman. Pretty much all his clothing is black except for a white dress shirt, but none of them are matching colors. His face doesn't seem like it knows how to smile. It's sitting, resting, eyes darting around, and there's an unlit cigarette sitting in his mouth. It seems like it's less for taste and more for just a familiar feeling. You actually see written on it, "in case of emergency." And he leans back, black gloves on his hands, looking around. This is Rep O. Ossels. But you can just call me Repo.
Nailed it. Awesome. Over to Jason.
Yes, well, you see a rather distinguished gentleman, older, in a dusty gray suit, holding a dusty gray bag, wearing dusty gray spectacles and a dusty gray hat. Everything about him is dusty. He is
gray.
looking through in his bag that's overstuffed with various tomes and notes, and he's taking notes, and he's looking through books, and he's slamming one and putting it down and picking up another one, looking at it frustrated and slamming it and putting it down. And you see Dr. Rupert Pemberton Smith, Doctor of Chemistry.
Fantastic. And last but certainly not least, Momo.
Hello, I'm Whisper. I'm a little ghost lady. You can't see any of the ghost parts because her entire body is covered in clothes or sheets or oven mitts, and over top of the sheet covering her head, tied with a little ribbon, is a pair of large round glasses so that you can sort of look into her eyes, and she's sitting quietly and politely until she's called upon.
Amazing. So, with this circle, quietly sitting, muttering amongst themselves, this is your chance for you to talk to each other, discuss what the plan of action may be once you get to Morton Springs, or, if you prefer, we can fast forward and arrive. What would you all
Listen,
like to do?
I told all of you before that, natural fire is much more warm. I don't know what they're trying to improve on fire. It's already a perfect thing, Clicking it open, closed. It's just so nice. I don't think I'll ever get over the feeling of it. Why are you all looking at me like that?
You're strange, man.
It's about efficiency, my boy. That's why they're trying to improve upon fire. They're trying to use it for more, to power more things, for the future.
The future? We already have everything we need up here, on the land. It's just so great already.
It doesn't
I
excite
might
you,
agree
the
with you.
idea of all the things that we can do when we harness this energy.
Not if it causes people to melt and burst into globbity gloopity.
I suppose that is a fairly good point, given the circumstances.
Look, it'll be fine as long as they figure out how to get stains out.
I'm sorry, get what?
Stains out.
Stains?
Like the blood. The blood stains the dress. So I throw out most of my clothing.
You throw out most of your clothing?
Yeah, it gets bloodstains on
You
it.
don't wash it?
Why would I do that?
So you can wear it again?
Why would I wear it again if somebody died in it?
So you don't have to keep buying clothes?
I didn't say I buy clothes.
Where do you get your clothes?
Other people.
What?
I take other people's clothes, wear it, someone dies while I'm wearing it, get new clothes. It's a
My
beautiful
friend,
cycle.
I've got a
I feel like
I've got a solvent I could put
I
for
have
you.
nothing to
My
say.
friend, I've got a solvent that I could whip up for you to clean your clothes, and then you won't have to keep taking them off wherever you take them from.
Please, we've talked about this before.
Thought it
Could
was
we
a
have
solvent to
less
dissolve
talk
people.
of murder in pleasant company?
It's not that I never said I did anything. People just die sometimes.
Yeah, people just die sometimes.
I mean, it is kind of the circle of life, isn't it? Death, life, clothes, no clothes, new clothes. That's kind of how it all goes in a circle.
Waste not, want not. They're not really using them anymore.
You listed 5 things. That's a star.
Click, click.
Don't count.
At this moment, your compartment car opens, sliding from left to right. You see before you the man dressed very much like this, round spectacles, 3-piece suit, velvety red vest, cravat, and this is your lighthouse keeper, Mr. Montgomery. Lighthouse keepers are managers of sorts for certain circles. They're field operatives, they give you information, they help you gain whatever intel or direction that you might need to go to help further your investigation. Your lighthouse keeper decided to join you on this journey to help you with dossiers, to help you with any info you might need before the next mission begins. As Mr. Montgomery enters into the cart, he has a very massive silver and lined tray with many different pots of tea on them. And as he approaches you all, he's like, "All right, there, everybody. I think I got everyone's order. I'll start with you, Wes. What tea would your character love the most?"
Anything that's warm, it doesn't matter. It's really all about holding the entire kettle up against your skin and just feeling the wonderful warmth of it. It could just be hot water. It doesn't even matter. Just feeling that radiance. And he just takes the entire pot and just takes it right from the spout.
All right, very odd way to enjoy tea there, Tony, but to each his own, I guess. Dale.
As a non-tea drinker, I need help.
You don't have to have
What
tea. You can
are
order
some
something completely
flavors
different if you
of
want.
tea? No, Clara 100% is a tea drinker.
Jasmine, Earl Grey. It could be literally English breakfast tea.
Jasmine sounds
Like,
nice. I like floral flavors.
4 favors. All right, there you go. Hands you over a pot of jasmine tea, the cup to associate it with. Over to you, James or Gabe.
It's Irish whiskey.
Perfect. We got 1 pot of hot water, 1 pot of jasmine, just a bottle of brown water. Would your whiskey taste be more on the higher side or the lower side? Oh yeah, so it's just murky brown water in a clear jug with a cork in
The
it.
look they gave this man when he put in our order.
Sláinte. Take a hat.
There you are, then Jason.
I'll take peppermint tea and a coffee and mix them together. That's what I'll
Oh
drink.
yes,
I'm not gonna lie, that
your
sounds
specialty.
incredible.
Got to try it myself sometime, my friend, but here you go. And just hands you a pot with like a French press beside it. The pot's kind of half filled for you to make your own concoctions. You have some creams, milk, sugars, whatever it is you want to make it just that perfect, excellent concoction that you're used to.
You also see me pull something out of the inside of my coat, and some powder of some sort. And for a moment, it looks as if there was a cloud of smoke on top of the liquid, and then it disappeared quickly.
What was that you just put in your cup?
I didn't think we were going to be doing that.
I mean, it's a little pick-me-up, you might say. I'll discuss it with you later.
Okay.
It's 'cause he's old. Let's you can just say it how it is. Like, You're older. You're getting slower. Like that's just how. That's how life is. You know. You slow down. There's no shame in it.
There's still petrol left in my tank, young man.
I believe it, but you don't have to talk about it some kind of science-y, wimedy, kind of mysterious thing.
Why did you rhyme with science and it wasn't even a word that rhymed with science?
What you mean by that?
Never mind.
Over to Momo. What would be your
Oh,
drink?
I can't really drink or anything, but can I have an empty cup? I just like to feel included.
Well, yes, of course, dear. No problems at all. He just reaches over to one of the empty glasses that they got for Rep, but Rep usually probably just likes to take it straight from the bottle, I'm assuming. Or do you like to have like a crystal glass? Yeah, straight from the bottle.
Nah. Not on a train.
Thank you. I don't even pretend to drink it. I just kind of hold on to it.
Whatever makes you feel comfortable, my dear. Well, we're all nice and sorted. Shall we get down to business then? And he goes down, sits down in one of the plush red sequenced chairs with a bit of gold filigree in line, big buttons that kind of stretch the fabric into itself. The town of Morton Springs has been on hard times, as our investigation has found this Radiance Corp, R Corp as they call it, has a bit of a chokehold on these farmers and local folk. They've brought in a lot of workers into the association with the promise of high salaries and great income. But the income is off of their own making. They have their own source of funding, something called R-Corp Bucks, or something to that effect, that allows these workers to continue to work for them and not go astray or go anywhere else. They need to work for R-Corp to feed their families, to keep their farms going. We've also had someone on the inside, a journalist, Brook Davis, who's been investigating R-Corp's dealings for quite some time. There's been conspiracy words of materials, minerals from the mining activities been seeping into the Bitter River, and there's been causing a few of the townsfolk to be sick now because of the situation with the need to continue to work for R-Corp. None of them have come forward or have even left the town. Maybe this is something you can use to your advantage. I know Brook Davis is being held up at one of the local taverns, the Water Spout, and he usually likes to have his morning whiskey at around 9 a.m. most days before he gets to work. You could probably find him there if you wanted to question him, but otherwise, leave it up to you how you'd like to proceed.
So Brook Davis, is he him?
Correct, he, him.
Thank you.
Why?
Do you have any question?
Yeah, why
Yes.
are we here though? It sounds like a problem for like the government to deal with, not us. I mean,
Well, it's probably because they want competency, Tony.
listen, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed here, but I think that if they wanted competence, never mind.
You don't need to be sharp, buddy. I'm not going to use a knife on a door.
Just drink your hot water.
Tony, you have...
Out of the kettle.
Yes, Doc.
Aren't you excited about an opportunity to help an entire town?
Well, sure, but if like strange things are going on, that would be one thing. But it doesn't sound like you've mentioned anything strange yet. They've just been leaking chemicals, and
A
this
woman
doesn't
in one
seem
of their
like
dresses melted. You don't think that that's
Listen.
strange?
Oh, the dress came from Radiant Corp?
Wait, that was them?
Young man, that's why we're on this trip.
It all makes sense now. Thank you, Flower. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Tony, my good man, you may not be the sharpest tool in the shed, but you are the bluntest, and that is why we need you on
Oh,
this mission.
thank you very much.
No problems at all, my friend. We are the defense against the dark. We work in secret and deal with unworldly things that the local governments cannot. We work within the shadows, and keep the secrets that need to be kept. The local government. Our corp's power is vast and most likely has people paid in certain factions and certain circles. But where they can't enter, we can. And is there anything else that you might need from me before we arrive at a destination? We should be getting there pretty soon.
Do we have any?
Do they know we're coming?
Not in the slightest. To them, you're all tourists, visitors. Maybe you're looking to work for ArcCorp yourself. Maybe you're looking to buy new land and settle down in a quiet town. Whatever means you have for being in this place, completely up to you. Done this more than once now, and I trust your abilities to be as discreet as you can.
Would you recommend that we're discreet?
Well, if a scalpel won't work, that's why we have a hammer.
There's a lot of hammer-related riddles bouncing around here.
Yes, I know. I went to the
Sometimes I really wish that people would just give me a straight answer sometimes.
Well, Whisper, let me put it to you this way. Whatever needs to be done to get the job done without sacrificing innocent lives, that's what we do.
Okay, sounds fun.
Shall we go talk to Brook then? At the tavern?
Sounds as good a place to start as any.
Before we do, I have a suggestion. If indeed we're trying to be discreet and we're trying to come up with a reason of why we are here, clearly Radiance Corporation uses some sort of chemicals. I, being a professor of chemistry, perhaps we could say that I'm here to offer my services to the Radiance Corporation to assist them in their endeavors. Does that seem like a feasible ruse to throw their way?
I like it.
That seems rude.
That also means maybe they would, if you're here to help with the whole chemical situation, maybe they would volunteer information to you if they're also hoping to sort out the chemical situation.
I would say so. I think it's a good, it is a stroke of luck.
We could just go down by the river if you wanted and just grab some ourselves.
I mean, you could do that
your
as
little,
well.
Your little glass vials and your fire
Tony,
and your powders and things. What?
Yes, maybe we'll do that later.
You know the doc's not a magician, right?
Basically, he's to me. Do you understand what he's doing?
You may gather your evidence as best you can, but the main objective here is to eliminate whatever this undark is coming from. We need to get rid of it and wipe it from this plane.
You can count on us, Mr. Montgomery.
I like the sound of that. Get rid of stuff. And I pull out my billy club and kind of like hit it on my hand.
Fantastic. And as the train starts to slow down, you hear the screeching of the metal tracks grinding against the rails. As the whistle blows high, steam sort of rushes past your window as the train car comes to a stop.
To the tavern?
To the tavern.
So?
To the tavern!
Good luck, my circle of investigators. Oh, before you leave, should we need to contact you, what codename will your circle be under?
Oh no.
Well, I think we've already said it. The Hammers.
I would have said the
Oh,
liquidators.
God. Can we have a little bit of sophistication, please?
The liquidating
What, Clara?
hammers?
Oh.
Makes no sense.
Even I know that's a terrible name. It's too long. It's got lots of syllables. I can't try and say that too many times.
Sophistication. Simple.
Circle
The
of
Sophies?
sophistication?
Ooh, the Circle of Sophistication sounds kind of cool.
All right.
Very well.
Splendid.
grab my lapels. Yeah, sophistication. Just like us.
You all over.
It makes me feel classy.
Splendid. We look forward to hearing your investigation, everyone.
God.
Good luck to you. One by one,
The split.
start to come out of the car with the other people coming to Morton Springs. There's obviously not a ton of people racing out of the train station here. It is a very small town. The gray skies kind of start to illuminate a little bit as you get into like 11 a.m. timeline. The dark gray clouds are kind of starting to become light gray as the sunlight kind of passes by. The rainfall has thinned out a little bit, still a little damp on the wooden boardwalk as you step out of the car. You see a couple families embracing husband. You see a few wide-eyed young couples come out of the train, maybe looking for a prosperous job within ArCorp itself. And as you get out of the train station into town itself, it looks very much kind of like Utah. Like, you know how there's just like a massive mountain, like in very close proximity, and like the small towns
No.
just kind of spread out from the base of it? That's right. Australia.
We don't
So,
have
yes.
mountains, so
I don't think that's correct. What do I know? I'm not in Australia. But yes, coming out of the train station here, you see this like very massive cliff face, very close proximity to the town. The roadways and the streets very much in a grid-like formation. Very old school, the town. You can definitely see which buildings, houses, shops have been here for a very long time and which ones were refurbished and made to look very brand new and sparkling. You can also see the ArCorp headquarters stationed within the rock face. And with this being kind of, the world we're playing in, it's kind of a vibe, turn of the century, 1920s. Kind of think like a steampunk version of an Apple store. Like it's an eyesore amongst this entire town of wood and metal and brass. It definitely has metal and glass affixed to it, but there's steam rising from columns. The windows are very wide and tall, and you can see gondolas coming down from several feet down to reach the ground level to be able to reach the complex. Searching around, you can see the water spout not too far from the train station itself, if you wanted to go straight there. You also clock a general store, local herbalist nearby if you wanted to ask any questions or investigate further, or you can go straight to meet Brook Davis. What would you like to do?
I have something that I'd like to do. I would like to take a little sample of the water coming out of the spout. Maybe if we let it sit for a while, something will happen and then we can test it later. I will need an empty jar or something, though.
Why, I have one right here.
Wow, that's convenient, thank you. I'm gonna go fill up this jar.
Okay. So are you going to, sort of on the sign of the tavern does say the water spout and has kind of a makeshift beer.
Oh, I'm such a dummy. I thought the water spout was where the water was
Right
coming
there
from. I
with ya.
forgot that was the name of the tavern. Oh, how far away would I have to go to get a sample of the polluted water?
So as you're sort of in the smack dab middle of town here, as you've walked in a bit more, you can hear sort of the rushing of the river not that far by. When you look over, see kind of the local herbalist shop. It's sort of down several feet, kind of as the town kind of started to sink down towards the base of the mountain. Over to the right, there's a running riverbank, and the local herbalist shop is kind of very close to the shore of it. And you see kind of a lineup as you get closer of various town folk. Some look like mine workers, some look like locals, all waiting fairly impatiently for the herbalist shop to open.
I'd like to go scoop up some water, but I don't want to hold the group up. I'm happy to meet up with you wherever you'd like to go.
A whisper, I can ask one of these people waiting if they know where the river is. I mean, I can get the information out of them real quick.
Tony, turn your head to the left.
Why?
There's the river.
Oh.
It's right there.
I do
I'll
wonder
go
if
with
it
you,
would,
Whisper.
yes, be safer if perhaps Tony went with you.
Oh, why don't we all go together?
Oh, that sounds so fun, yeah. Maybe you can talk to the alchemist shop that's right by the river while I go just get a quick
Sure.
scoop. Do. Here we
That's the
go.
noise we have to make every
All
time
right.
we're walking.
Do.
All right, so you're all as a group going towards the bit of river then?
Yes.
Okay. So as you walk through the town, again, it's not bustling, even though the skies are gray and it's a little bit of a light rain. Eventually, you do see people walking to and fro in the town center, kind of just clocking you all a little bit. Some give a polite nod and say good morning. Some kind of look at you as you're dressed a little bit differently from the town folk here, just kind of give you a look of like, it's a small town. So like if any of you lived in a small town before, you can know exactly who's kind of a local and who's a tourist. So you get that little bit of a second clocking. But as you go sort of past the local herbalist shop, you can kind of hear people in line muttering to themselves, just like very impatient, kind of looking at their pocket watches, just be like, come on, man, I need that medicine. Come on, like what the hell's going on? It's been 20 minutes. Like, and just people seem a bit perturbed and a little disgruntled. But moving past them, Bitter River flowing as it kind of comes up from the mountainside into this bank. Momo, so you go into the bank here, get your glass, put it into the shore. I need you to make me a move or control roll, please.
Oh, I will happily do that. What dice do I roll?
So you roll a d6. If you see on your control section, if you have a circle put in, that's 1d6. If you have any more
So
circles
the
in there,
darker
that's the number of
circles?
d6 you have.
Oh, control. Yes. I have one dark circle under control.
Awesome. And is your diamond filled in as well? No.
No.
So it's just 1d6. And if you want, you could add drive to it, or your players could add drive to your roll as well. But this is a low stakes roll,
Drive is
we'll
the
say. So,
rectangles.
I got a 2.
oh, that's a fail. Yeah, so 1 to 3 is a fail, 4 to 5, mixed success, and 6 is a success. So with you put your glass into the river.
I better not fall in. I tell you
Can
what.
ghosts drown?
Pulling in. You put it up, or you get the glass up, the jar full of the water. You have it in there, and a bit splashes on your hand. As you go to kind of put in the jar inside, you kind of just not gauge the distance very well, and you slip a little bit, and your hand sinks into the river as you get the majority of it in the glass. And you feel, not immediately, just a slight tingling on your hand.
Whisper, are you okay?
It's probably fine. Huh? I mean, yeah, it's just water, right? I'm sure it's
Your
fine.
other mitten's a little strange looking.
Yeah, it feels a little tingly, but like everything will work out okay, right?
Doc, can you take a look at it?
Yet, let me see that. I mean, once again, I am a doctor of chemistry, not physicality, but still, if I could analyze the water, I might be able to know what is affecting her hand.
So with your expertise in these fields, you know that magic is the residue of which these supernatural causes can occur. And anything that comes from this otherworldly place that Candela has been appointed to police, known as the Flare, interactions with it can have sometimes disastrous effects. If you look at their hand, you don't see anything immediately happening. You don't see any like skin bubbling that you've seen before. You don't see any blue veins that are starting to erupt from the hand and go up the arm. But there is irritation. It's a bit red, so it's a little concerning.
my arm gonna melt off like that lady?
No,
on
no,
the
no.
stage?
Let's dry it off quickly. And I pull a rag out of my bag, a rather dusty kerchief.
Reaper, do you still have
but
that
quickly,
whiskey?
Repo?
Boy.
we should pour it on her. Should pour it on their hand to counterbalance the effects. To get it clean.
I
Get
don't
it
wanna
clean.
waste perfectly good whiskey.
It's not a waste.
Whisper, as they are talking
not
about
good whiskey.
how to cure your hand, green veins start to appear
No.
and are
Oh, maybe I
slowly
can buy you some whiskey after.
dripping
Repo?
up the wrist.
Fine. And I'll walk up. I'll
Rebo,
uncork the whiskey. And as long as Whisper's fine with it, like move the glove out of the way and then just start pouring heavily, using the oven mitt to kind of like wipe it on there a little bit, like rub it in. I don't want to touch her, but like
I imagine I'm like invisible, so I guess you're just like guessing.
So you're taking your glove and you're kind of wiping the whiskey onto the wound? Okay.
Yeah.
So trying to get that on there. You start to notice that the veins were climbing up and they start to rescind a little bit,
so,
but now
There
they
is a
pause on
neutralizing
the
effect.
wrist.
I start taking notes, just into a notebook, just making sure that I'm tracking anything that we notice along the way.
I guess this is one way to test the water, huh?
I may have another counterbalancing powder here somewhere to fully get rid of this. Let me see. What?
I'm sorry, everyone. I really didn't mean to make a whole hassle of this. I was just trying to get a jar.
I mean, does it surprise anybody that alcohol's the solution to all of our problems?
yes.
And also, Whisper, with your body the way that it is, from dealings of past incursions with these shadowy entities that come from the flare, it seems to be reacting to your metaphysiology specifically. You see the part that it's stained, because you have gloves on, correct?
Yeah. Like oven mitts.
Oven mitts. Some of it soaks through the oven mitt a little bit. And if you kind of just take a peek, you're feeling that itching sensation where it touched, little bits of skin are starting to grow.
Are we seeing that, or just Whisper?
So far, Whisper just kind of looked into the oven mitt and saw that, but it's up to them if they want to mention it at all.
Wait, what's inside the oven mitt? Like,
So the river,
Skin?
some of that splashed onto your hand, soaked
Yeah.
through the oven mitt and touched your skin a
Yeah.
little bit.
yes.
Yeah. So with the ghostly apparition underneath, little bits of skin are growing.
That doesn't seem so bad. I'm going to show the group. That doesn't seem so bad, right?
We should get in.
My word.
I thought you weren't real under there.
Whisper.
I am normally not.
What is reality?
have
Is it
been baptized before.
phenomenological? What are we talking about here? But honestly, at a certain, I'm not saying it's
Whisper,
bad,
you could
but
get
it's
baptized.
certainly not expected. Could I possibly make a sense check with regards to like specifically the weird phenomenon that we're looking at? So like trying to, I don't know, put together with other cases we've seen in the past, specifically calling to mind the case in which Whisper became a ghost, and seeing if any of it is sparking like some kind of understanding with regards to the magic of the thing.
Yeah, so you want to make a roll for it. Just that because of this, whatever material is being put into the river here, it has her, the fact that her body is reacting to the material means that there's some trace of magic in it. And that it's sort of mixing and folding into their metaphysiology just means it's almost like it's that version of a burn. Like it's their version of like a 3rd degree burn almost.
Could I make a survey check to see if we're being watched by any of the townsfolk?
Yes.
We go ahead and make that. 3. Rolled a 3.
Rolled a 3. Yeah, that is a fail. So you look around, you see the sort of the people waiting to get inside of the herbalist shop, and you see them kind of itching their necks a little bit. You see them kind of like holding their arms a little bit, but you don't see anyone like specifically looking at you or clocking you in any way. Yes.
Could I make a focus check to inspect and analyze and remember if it does indeed spark anything to mind that may have already happened in our lives?
Yeah, you don't need to make a check for that. Just that this incursion, you've seen in your time as an investigator some strange things when magic and these shadowy entities that have been affected by it kind of merge. They just cause very strange reactions.
All right.
You clock over at the herbalist shop, and you can kind of see that as you kind of look closer, you notice that there's similar sort of ailments like blue veins kind of climbing up some of those waiting patiently in the lineup, like up their neck, and like similar sort of effects going inside. But as you look at it, it's not like deadly. It's not gonna like climb up their arm and kill them outright or anything. It's just more like the akin of just getting a nasty burn.
I think we should have brought our own water.
Doctor,
Oh boy.
you're a man of science.
Yes?
It occurs to me that an experiment might be in order.
Absolutely. This is not really the best place to harbor a control out here in
Of course.
the wilderness, in the wild, but as soon as we check into our wherever we're going to stay, I would gladly.
Well, it simply occurs to me that we've seen how this water affects contact with, let's say, the most unusual member of our party.
The supernatural.
Yes, yes.
I didn't touch the water at all. What you talking about?
Yes, Tony. It also occurs to me that you, Doctor, are perhaps the least unusual supernatural member of our party, and we might get a slightly broader scope of what we're dealing with if we tested the water's contact with you.
Very well, fine. I mean, I've lived a good life anyway, you know. If this is where I depart, then I shall live with no regrets.
Are we sure that we can't test this water some other way other than just immediately pouring it
a simple
on
swatch
ourselves?
test on the arm. We'll have the whiskey ready.
Okay.
The name of science.
Are you
Listen,
sure, Doctor?
I didn't make it this far in life without doing a few experiments on myself. Why not? Fine. If we're gonna get to the bottom of this, let's do it. So,
Which is your least
wait, maybe
favorite arm?
like you said, a swatch test. I'll take a swab, a cotton swab here, dip it in, and then rub it just a line
science.
upon my arm. Yes. All right.
Swab
So
science.
I
All right.
swab it, and then I just run a straight line across my left arm here, just to see what's going to happen.
All right, make me a control or move roll.
Well, control, I have one circle and one diamond. What does that mean?
That's right, control. So you would roll 1d6, and you can make that a gilded die.
But also, if you have, so if you look at your rectangles in, nerve? Some of those will be
Yes.
filled in. And
I have
you
two
can
filled in.
choose to spend those to add more dice to your pool if you want to.
And sorry, what does a gilded die do?
So if you roll with the gilded die and choose that as a success for your roll, you'll regain a drive. But you have not used any yet.
Okay. So does that mean I can add an extra die? That's what I'm... Is the only way I can do that by spending one drive?
Yes, so if you want to add d6 to your roll, you can add as many as you'd like. Each player may also add a drive to your roll, but only one drive per player.
Well, I'll add a drive myself. I want this to succeed, so I'm going to roll 2 die.
Okay.
Yes, I got a 3 and a 6.
Woo!
Hey.
All right. Is the 6 gilded?
I don't know.
I do.
You know what? Let's say that-
It definitely was.
Yes, let's say that it is. So you get to
Answer is
regain that
yes.
drive that you spent. So a 6, you swab it on to your skin, and there's no immediate reaction. There's no bubbling or irritation, but you feel this weird pulse in your temple,
Oh,
almost like
that's new.
you're about to have a bit of a headache, but it subsides, but you're okay.
I explained that to the group.
Fascinating. Just adding
So
more
kind of
notes.
surmising that, interaction with the water itself for beings that may be of supernatural quality, it affects their body more, and those who are more of this world, more of the brain.
Affects the mind.
Well, we do have a jar of this stuff now. Maybe we can continue on to the tavern and speak to people who are most likely more afflicted by this water.
I think that's a great idea.
Oh, thank you.
But what? Why are all these people just waiting outside this shop, though, as we're walking back?
It sounds like they're wanting medicine.
Yes, my friend, they're
Well,
hoping
what-
to get cured. Or at least the remedy.
Why isn't it opened yet? They've been complaining about it for a while.
What time of day is it?
Almost noon.
Actually.
It's most shops open up pretty early. I'd imagine all these people have to get to work, right?
Sounds like the proprietor is a ne'er-do-well.
As you say that, the wooden door of the herbalist shop sort of opens with fervor, and you see someone come out, a voluptuous woman with kind of a smock of some sorts, kind of tying it up behind their back. Beautiful dark auburn hair with massive curls that's kind of swayed down. Beautiful beyond compare. Kind of putting their hair kind of up into a bun to get ready for the day's work. Gloves tightly on. You'd be like, I'm so sorry, everyone. I'm so sorry. I got here as soon as I could. I had to deal with my kids in the morning. It's fine. I'm so sorry. Come on in. We'll try to help as many people as we can and get this going. I'm sorry. Everyone's just like, you're waiting here for a long time. It's like, I know. I'm sorry. Please come in. I have some nurses inside. They'll help as many people as possible. Yes, come. And you just see her kind of starting to lead people inside.
Oh well, that was kind of odd timing, don't you think?
Why?
We were just talking about how they needed to open up hours ago, and then as soon as we started talking about them, the doors opened up, and then she came out, and then all the people were
Well,
inside.
you know what they say, Tony. Speak of the devil, and she'll appear.
Lightkeeper, may I make a survey to see if I could spot any of like the discoloring of veins or anything on her person as she opened the door? Basically seeing if she's also afflicted by this.
Yeah, you won't have to make a roll for it. As you look over at them, they have kind of a high collar with the smock and like tightly around kind of the doctor's gown that they're wearing. You don't see any. You don't see any scarring on the face. Well, actually, sorry, you do see, it looks like a couple healed scars a little bit, like sort of like one kind of here, like a couple of like, looks like almost like roots, like a scar that looks like roots, but they've been healed.
Okay.
So you don't see any like current afflictions on them.
It does look like she might have been afflicted at some point in the past, but I think she might actually have a cure.
God hope so.
That's not what I hope.
What do you hope?
I'll tell you when you're older.
I don't think I'm gonna get much older.
Well, literally older. Like, look, are you baptized?
What? No. Why didn't you just tell me?
She's a very voluptuous woman, Whisper.
Uh-huh.
I'm a very lonely man, Whisper.
Oh. Why didn't you just say that?
But it's a weird thing to say, but there's a lot going
Well,
on.
how am I supposed to wingman you if you don't tell me these things?
Sorry, did I just hear that
can't
Whisper
wait.
was your wingman instead of me?
I'd like to be.
But you, Repo, what? I thought.
Let's get it though.
Who can have more than one wingman?
Look, most birds have two wings.
Do indeed. So, at this point, would you like to go inside the herbalist shop to talk to the owner? Would you like to go meet Brook Davis, or just say, screw this, we're going to go straight to the company headquarters and see what's what?
Brook?
Is Brook Davis waiting to meet us?
The lighthouse keeper mentioned that he goes to the tavern every morning. That's kind of like an inside man, so there's a loose connection there as a point of information should anyone need to meet them.
If nothing else, I think Brook Davis is the go-to first, because if we go to Brook Davis first, when we come back, the herbalist probably won't still be serving people. It'll be easier to talk to her.
And we might have information that we can use in our conversation with the herbalist.
Yeah, we should also see if Brook Davis is afflicted, because that we don't know yet either.
Yeah. To the tavern?
To the tavern. Let's go.
Whiskey.
As you all start to make your way over there, you do start to feel heavy vibrations come from the ground and rise up through your feet, through your shins, through your thighs, into your very soul, as a massive rumbling and shaking comes from the mountainside. A bit delayed at first, almost like a blast.
What?
And you notice that none of the townspeople are looking up.
Was that an explosion? Some kind.
May I roll a sense to figure out what this was?
Yeah, no need to roll. As you kind of hear the heavy vibration, it's definitely like a massive impact coming from inside the mountain. And as the lighthouse keeper kind of briefed you, there is a mining operation underneath our corp. So it's probably just routine blasting or something of that sort. And as you're kind of looking around with no one paying attention, it seems to be fairly common, maybe. It seems to happen quite a bit. But then as the rumbling kind of stops, you hear just this light sort of shrieking, whistling sound that's like sort of muffled through the explosion. But it could be mixed in with like a whistling sound of the explosion, or maybe air escaping from the rocks side of the mountain. It's kind of hard to tell.
Let's get inside, everybody. I don't like the blasting so much.
I don't think I like the town so much.
No, there's really nothing appealing about this place yet. Well, except
Oh, well, we've only just gotten
except for the
here.
herbalist. I think that Repo might agree with me there. But anyway, besides that, let's go inside.
All right.
As we're
Yes.
walking, I actually I want to use an ability from my role, the scout. If you have time to observe a location, you can spend 1 intuition to ask a question. What do I notice here that others do not see?
Okay.
Good open-ended question.
Because everyone else is talking, and there's like there's the dynamite. Sometimes dynamite can explode something, and that can get into the groundwater. If it gets into the groundwater, it can affect the water supply. Like, people aren't reacting to it. What is it that I'm noticing that others aren't seeing?
What you are noticing that others aren't seeing. You definitely can spot, as you use that intuition, you notice as the explosion happens, the water seems to be affected a little bit, like the stream kind of gets rippled a little bit. You can notice that as that explosion happens, that blast, and it's not like a geyser rising or like rocks splitting from the side of the mountain. It's apparently like almost like a soft thunderous boom. And you clock something very interesting. As all these people are waiting in that herbalist shop, you can see those sort of almost bioluminescent scarring as the rumbles through. See the scarring kind of flicker for just a moment.
Did whispers as well?
It doesn't whisper, it just sort of flickers with the whispering that happens.
No, sorry. Did whispers like glow as well?
Oh,
The
sorry.
person?
Yes, it does.
Yes.
That's troubling.
There's
Quite.
when it went boom, as our lovely Tony said, it seems like there was some resonation that went out. All those scars, even you whisper a little bit, tiny little flick of a glow. Thought it was a reflection, but whatever they're doing up there is down here too.
I also just had a thought. Our tests found out that the water affects the bodies of supernatural beings, but the minds of those who are not. But everybody in town has like weird glowy veins. So would that not be their body?
It would. But
There's a possibility that if you leave something too long, comes something else.
Prolonged exposure could be
It's a grape at first.
transforming them
Yeah.
to more of a supernatural being. Any number of things.
They're fermenting.
Yes,
They're
the
going
wine.
from grapes to wine.
Yes.
Look, you can keep your goblets and vials. I've got bullets and beer.
And wine and whiskey.
Cool line.
It's wine and whiskey. People prefer the second one.
And I'm getting hungry. Can we go to the tavern already?
Yeah.
All right, so as you guys, and that is correct, you do sort of get a sense of a fermentation of a long exposure happening to the people in this town. And as you enter into the water spout, those double saloon doors kind of open, fairly empty. You do see a fairly big dude, sort of arms are kind of like busting out of their coat pocket, bald head, kind of hair that's kind of wisping down the back of their neck, and big bushy mustache, not round spectacles, but glasses with thick frame, bottle of whiskey beside them, one that Rep would love to indulge in, probably has that same sort of darker color, not top shelf, with a crystal glass, bartender, older gentleman, white shirt, black vest, just clean glasses. Looks like most people in town right now are working or on their lunch break, that kind of thing. Probably visiting their homes or going to the herbalist shop, doing errands before they got to go work back in the mines in ArtCorp. What would you all like to do?
Do I have any money?
They were afforded a few ArtCorp's bucks from Candela Obscura for this town for yourself to spend how you like. I believe you have like around like $100.
Oh, okay. Well, I would like to go get some more whiskey to make up for the one poured on my hand.
wait, this
No problem.
Bartender.
town has its own currency?
sorry. Bartender.
Like a mining
Yeah,
town, it's got its own sort of.
Script.
Hello there.
Yeah.
Hello. One whiskey, please and thank you.
Yes, of course. Yes, please, welcome. Come inside. Take your seat. It's been a little bit dead today. Yes, one whiskey for you. There you are. That'll be.
Thank you.
No problem.
There you go.
Thank you so much. It just like puts the money down.
I think
and just
that's
hands
for
it to
you, Repo.
No, I was just savoring the fact that they got this done so quickly.
She's a
I'm
sweet girl.
impressed.
Hey, but
I mean, it's straight whiskey.
Yeah, it is.
barkeep, do you have any food here? Anything I can eat, nibble on?
We got a small kitchen in the back. We can make some sandwiches or something like that for you. It's a little bit scarce right now, but like clubhouse or ham and cheese.
Anything's fine. Just something to snack on. Ham and cheese? Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay, yeah. Anyone else? Good?
Just
I have to go make it myself.
water, thank
so,
you.
Water, okay?
Oh, I've
Wait
just
down.
remembered where we are. No water, thank you.
Perhaps an ale or something? Something processed?
You want some
sure,
whiskey?
yeah.
Something imported, please.
Thank you. I don't drink.
And an empty cup.
Okay. Empty cup, imported, beer, whiskey, and no water.
No water.
You see the sort of more hulking person at the bar and be like, yeah, I wouldn't fucking drink that shit.
Oh, hello. Do you happen to know a Brook Davis?
Do you happen to be a Brook Davis?
Yeah, you're talking to him. Who might you all be?
Oh, wonderful. Well, what are we? The Spectacular Circle of Sophistication.
Something like that.
Okay,
Um,
then.
I like it.
It's getting
I like
longer
it.
now.
I like it.
The Splendid Spectacular Circle
Oh.
of Sophistication.
Splendid.
We were just hoping to ask you some questions about Radiant Corp. Please?
Spectacular, sophisticated, and he like kind of clocks on your lapel and can see in different spots your Candela pin. That's kind of in like discrete places and just. Oh, yeah, this is circle of sophisticated. Very sophisticated. That's nice. I haven't heard that one before. Well, come on, let's all join in the shit show that is Morton Springs. Gonna need more whiskey, I think. So what do you want to know?
Well, first of all, are you having a good day?
Well, not really.
Oh, I didn't think you would be.
Every day I'm here is kind of another place in hell, quite frankly.
Why don't you just walk us through what your experience has been like so far?
And by this point, the bartender has laid down the drinks for you all, gone to the back to make food.
Thank you.
Well, has any of you drinking the water?
I got some on my hand.
I look at the dock.
Headache.
He looks over at your wrist and like almost immediately goes in to grab it, but then like pauses for a minute and kind of and looks you over like you don't have any scarring yet. Fascinating.
Wait, who?
You? Where's yours? Did you get a scar or anything like that, or can I see where it touched you?
Oh no, I'm a weird case. I'm a ghost.
What?
Okay, you gotta lead into that.
You know what? Not the weirdest thing I've seen since being here, so I'll just have to go with that at this point. I've been trying to investigate this corporation for some time. First, I thought it was just the typical corporate espionage, you know, something being maybe minerals poured into the river by some byproduct of the products they were making. The townsfolk, the veins, the hospitals. The more these people are exposed to whatever is going on here, the more they start to transform. No one here is allowed to leave. I've tried several times. I get more R-bucks, and I get reasons for why the train can't leave the station, and why... Have you guys visited the hospitals yet?
Yeah, we've only just arrived.
We walk past the herbalist, just over there, but there's a lot of people.
Yeah, the people here are doing their best. The herbalist does what they can to make remedies and ailments to hold it off. But it's getting worse, and I don't know what else to do. I've tried my best to get inside that headquarters and figure out where it's coming from,
You said
how to get rid of it.
transform.
But the veins are the start. First, it attacks the brain, headaches, fissures. Then after a while, the veins start to turn blue. Scarring occurs. Next stages, pigment of the skin start to go green. And I don't even know if I think I can tell you what happens next.
You must tell us what happens next.
I'm gonna push the whiskey closer towards him.
Horrors. The likes of which I have never seen. Wounds splitting open, teeth falling out. The jaws of the mouth ripping apart, eyes bulging. I don't know what it is that happens or where they're putting these bodies when they transform. I've seen it firsthand. Some of the townsfolk here, they want to keep their lands, they want to keep being paid, they want to feed their families. And they just take it as a price of doing business, and if any of them try to escape, they don't stay around for long.
But what?
They've kept
What if the herbalist though? She seems to have some sort of cure, or is that just some temporary thing that keeps them going?
Seems to be a temporary fix. It doesn't completely cure people, but she's able to stave it off for a long time.
Is she with the R-Corp, or is she trying to work on her own?
Independent works on her own. As far as I can tell from looking into it, she's keeping the workers alive. More work for them to output, more workers for them to be in the employ.
Is there anything in what Brook is saying that is sparking like dishonesty or anything? I'd be willing to do like a read with a drive to see.
Sure.
I'll roll 2 d6s here. A 4.
4, mixed success. So the stories he's telling are, to anyone else, would be insane to hear. But for you all,
The woman in the
you've seen
green
your fair
dress.
share of horrors. You've seen things like, the woman in the green dress, the evidence that held. It is definitely a byproduct of that. But something is changing from these bodies turning into bones and viscera. They're becoming something else, more animated, more some semblance of intelligence. The evidence is being swept up, so it's hard to know what goes next, but you don't get the sense that he's lying. You get the sense that there's a reason why he's in this bar every morning, trying to figure out what to do.
And the second thing is he bigger than me, or am I bigger than him?
And with that question, we're gonna go to our first break. Leave that question on a cliffhanger. But yes, everyone, we're gonna do a quick 10-minute break here. So please don't go anywhere as we return very shortly. See you in a few.
Hi. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoy the show. Did you know that you now can support QuestKeep on Patreon?
That's right. If you subscribe to patreon.com/questkeep, you will have exclusive access to wonderful things such as behind the scenes of our amazing games, as well as exclusive access to our community Discord channel, and the ability to vote on what games we might play in the future.
That's true. There's different tiers for you to support at, and you can get things like discounts on merch, and digital downloads, or notes from DMs, etc., etc.
Yes.
Please go check it out now. Patreon.com/QuestKeep.
That is patreon.com/questkeep. Blah. when a statement must be made, it must be made loudly.
Sometimes it's the only way to face the darkness is to embrace the darkness.
Welcome back. Heroes! Yay!
That's us!
I am not a barbarian!
Settle down, settle down.
You do you, babe.
Kill a few people here and there in the name of don't kill me.
There's a little something else in there.
We've been through some stuff together.
This is how we create bonds.
It's been the best part of my life.
I'm not going to the temple!
You start to vomit all over Aaron. No!
He had a fling with a tiefling.
Maybe I should wear like a sneaky detective outfit. Are you sure I can't tempt you? With this!
That's not delightful, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
I'm trying to fight and you guys are turning it into a sex thing, and the damage was trash!
And what is your 7th favorite trait?
Oh my god.
Friends solve puzzle together. Friends, our team. I'm good at killing things, and you guys are passable.
Hello, Arl. Lovely wedding.
He is now engulfed in flames.
I think I got in a couple good hits.
Fennels. Unconscious again. Hello, Zap.
Whoa! Drop a 0.
Estravel!
She is the devil.
Okay, so she's looking for a vessel, and that's...
Do not let that happen.
Focus fire.
You are so hungry. The familiar and unfamiliar faces of everyone you've ever killed. There is no justice here, only sickness. And I am the cure.
No.
Her eyes go black.
Oh no. No, I'm down.
Saving them is... That's it. That's all. That's all. That's everything.
Not ideal to have to kill your friends.
She repeats back words that you said to her once. When a statement must be made, it must be made loudly.
I've found people and I'm starting to feel like a real person again.
Because I have friends. I have friends now.
Welcome to Altero, a world filled with romance,
Seduction.
danger,
Oh no. Watch out.
intrigue,
Ooh. What's that about?
night creatures, secrets,
I'll never tell.
and of course, food.
Yummy.
So join us in Altero for Eat, Slay, Love.
Eat, slay, love.
Welcome back, everyone. We're going to pick up the story right where we left off, with the circle of sophistication inside the water spout. Currently talking to Booker Davis, the journalist, as you were getting your drinks, telling you this horrific tale of this R Corp's disastrous effects of whatever they're doing and their mining operation affecting these townsfolk. As you're conversing with Booker Davis, behind the walls of the bar, behind that door that the bartender went through, you hear...
That's behind the
I'm gonna
bar?
go ahead and take a step behind Tony.
Yeah. Tony stands up from wherever they're sitting, and is gonna grab his club. Looking back, was it Brook or Booker?
Booker Davis, sorry.
Booker. Okay. I'm gonna look back at Booker to see if Booker is recognizing what's going on at all.
He looks up as soon as he hears that muffled voice. You see his whole body perk up. What was that?
I'm gonna go find out. And yeah, I'm gonna kind of slowly step toward those noises, and using kind of my elbow, push the door open a little bit to where the sound is coming from, and peek through the crack to see if I can see what's going on.
Yeah, so you sort of use your forearm to push open the door, and you can see that the room behind this bar is it's a small little household. This bar owner owns this place, has a little home nestled in, built in behind the bar itself. You can see a makeshift small little kitchen, few dirty plates left in there, a little dining room table by a window, and you see a couple wooden doors, and those muffled voices are coming from the door closest to the dinner table. You can still just hear like, it's fine, calm down, it's gonna be okay.
Oh, and I'm gonna peek my head in. Is everything all right in here?
And as you look into the bedroom, you see another man. Sheet soaked with sweat, shirt ripped off, skin gangly green, veins of effervescent blue light all over this person's body. The bartender trying to calm down this gentleman. My sweet, my loving husband, it's gonna be fine. Please, we'll get through this. We'll go back to the herbalist shop. We'll do it through. I got some customers. I'll be right back.
Doc!
No!
Doc!
No! And the bartender swoops around at you and is like, what are you doing here?
What am I doing here? You're hiding that thing. What even is that?
This thing, no, it's my husband, Greg. Everything's fine. Everything's okay. He's just a little sick. Everything will be fine. Everything will be okay. And you see the body start to wriggle around.
Get out of it!
As you start to see a rip come from the sternum as the skin starts to break open and the chest cavity starts to expose itself. You see rows of teeth start to separate like from a shark's mouth as the skin starts to glow bright green. Reaches in, grabs the husband's arm. What do you want to do?
Oh, I am...
Do we see all this?
Only me.
You are all in the bar still, and you're hearing this the sound start to get louder and louder from behind the bar.
I am going to use a move. I'm using 2 drives for... Can I use more than 1 drive or just one at a time?
You can use as many drives as you like. Each player may add a drive to your roll, but only 1 per player.
Would somebody else mind helping me with this nerve check? By adding a drive?
How do I do that?
So if you have drives...
I don't have any dark squares.
Then you can't do it.
On my nerve. I'm so sorry.
Does anybody else have any nerve?
I can help.
They can lend me?
I will lend you my nerve, good sir.
Okay, lend me a nerve, so I'll do a gilded 4-die roll here.
You might say you're getting on my last nerve.
So I'm sprinting full speed. That's a 6, y'all. Not on the gilded die. The gilded die was a 2, so but I am gonna take that 6. Sprinting, I'm grabbing the bartender and trying to pull him out of the room.
Okay, and just before the writhing body was about to grab the arm of the bartender and shove it into that chest cavity, you're able to grab him and rip him back, but he's fighting you off. He's like, no, he's gonna be fine. It's okay. I can be. Ah! And the rest of you, what are you doing as this is happening?
I'm yelling,
Tony is in
Repo! Repo, get in here! Everybody else, stay out!
During this time of all the shouting, Repo had taken the bullets out of his 6-shooter and like put them methodically on the table in front of him. And he was like cleaning and shining them and like doing a little carving into them. And when he heard that, that's when he was like... finishes, puts the bullet in, and does that thing where like you like spin it around and let it click in.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. Then I'll hop over the bar and
the rest of you, what are you doing?
Do we have a situation
I feel like we have
here?
a situation here.
Nah, it's rats.
Rats. Okay, I'm gonna stand on the table and I'm going to say, "Hello, civilians. We have a situation here involving rats. If you could all move quickly and efficiently to the exit."
It's not rats like last time. It's much bigger than rats.
Oh, it's much bigger than rats. So maybe move a little faster than quick.
I'm going to
All right,
grab...
Whisper. There's a cup. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go for it, Yale. Sorry, Momo, I'm gonna have you roll me a sway roll. There's only a couple people in the bar at this point. There's like maybe 3 patrons just having some food and having just a beer to themselves. Make me that sway roll.
I don't have any circles in sway.
All right, so then that will be a disadvantage. So roll me 2d6s and take the lower result.
Okay. Wah, 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 wah. 1.
1. They
can't,
look at
can
you.
they not hear me because I'm whispering?
Your voice is actually, yes, it is so low that they don't really hear. They hear you talking a little bit, but it seems like rats, vermin, maybe commonplace in this establishment. They just go, whatever. Dale, what were you doing?
I'm going to grab this sort of, it's almost like a Mary Poppins-ish sort of carpet bag that the doctor and I sort of keep our books and I don't know, research materials in. And I'm going to start pulling out the sort of more sciencey ones at the top and reaching down into the bottom to where I keep my kind of mysterious arcane tomes that I occasionally consult for things like, what's the weakness of a melt monster?
Weakness of a melt monster. Actually, sorry, Momo, my mistake. But you got a 3, right?
I got a 1.
A 1. That is a big fail. So as you're on top of the bar, being like, everyone, we have rats. We need to leave. Bit of the bar top is still a bit damp. Wasn't fully cleaned. Oh, no. You slip and tumble and smack hard on the bar, on the ground, on the concrete ground. You're gonna take a body.
Ow. Ow.
Not my best work.
Can I do something fun here? Hold on. No, never mind.
That,
no, go ahead.
Let me just resolve
no.
Dale's
do your thing.
here. So go into the tomes. You're like, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Each of you have your own gadgets that you chose at the beginning of this session. If you had not marked it, this is a perfect time to declare what those gadgets are. You have the Arsenal of Candela at your side. You can be as creative as you want. If Rep had some like bullets marked with some like magic material that's able to pierce the shadowy entities that you've encountered before, you have that. Whatever you want it to be, Dale, I'm gonna throw this to you. What do you find in your books that would be some sort of device or gadget that you have on you that could help you in this instance?
I think that in amongst my books, I have this kind of really old, heavy tome that's just, it's a book that's just full of notes from all sorts of Candela members over the years, and it's just everything they've encountered at different times. And I'm just flipping through, looking. It's almost like a bestiary, right? Like talking about all the weird stuff people have encountered. I'm looking for anything similar and any notes that they've made on like weaknesses, strengths, just information about beasties similar to this.
Yeah. So through that, make me a survey roll.
A survey roll, certainly. And I am going to go ahead and add 2 drive to this so that I'm rolling with 3 dice. Kapow! That's a 6.
Awesome. So with these entities that emerge from the flare, magic-infused items can definitely help, but they are also they're not like invulnerable. They can be punched, they can be grappled with in some instances, they can take physical harm, but if you have something infused with that magic residue that comes from this world, it definitely is a bit of a boon.
Okay, excellent.
But this Undark situation is a bit of a strange, like you've never seen something like this where this corporation might have mixed in something with this liquid, whatever this is, that's poisoning the river to cause this reaction. Almost these like parasitic zombie-like entities. Does that satisfy?
Corporate zombies.
Corporate zombies. Oh,
and
the worst kind.
And I'll get to Tony 1 minute. Jason, was there anything that you want to do in this moment?
Yes, for my items, I have my science grenades.
Sweet.
They are small little pouches. Some I can throw and it will put people to sleep. Others I can throw and it will just shoot fragmentation everywhere. The problem is that if I throw it, it affects everyone. So therefore, I have to be very careful when I use them. So I'm not going to use one now and risk harming my compatriots.
But you have it on you, and that's good to know.
Yes, I'm considering throwing one of my sleep grenades.
So right now, most of you, Repo, you're going towards the back room as well with your.
And I'm just gonna call as Repo is going. I'm gonna say, punching good, magic punching better.
Okay. And then we finally get to Tony. So you've ripped the bartender away from the bedroom. Are you kind of backing up towards the main bar area here?
I am going to throw the bartender through the doors that I just came through.
Okay.
I'm imagining that the door like opens both ways. So it
Yeah.
just gets sent flying out.
The saloon.
I have no idea that Whisper is on the ground, but I'm throwing the bartender out, and I'm going to light up my billy club that kind of splits into 3 different pieces, and there's these glowing blue kind of lightning sparking out of this billy club as I activate it, and I'm going to sprint toward this creature, and if I can this turn, do a strike on it.
Okay, make me a strike as the body starts to move its way out from the bedroom. Its chest cavity is starting to split more and more up towards the head of this person. It's starting to split as mucus and red viscera starting to stretch, and spit is kind of falling from the ground as the body starts to, the gangly green pigment is turning a bit brighter and lower, almost humming like a heartbeat as it's coming towards you. You go in for your strike. What'd you roll?
I rolled a 6, not on the gilded, but a 6 nonetheless.
A 6.
I used 2 drive to make this happen.
So you're able to stay
It
it back
connects.
from coming towards the main part of the tavern. At this point, the bartender gets thrown into the main part of the tavern. The residents there are just like, oh fuck, what the? They start to get a little bit perturbed, and they're just like, we don't want to deal with any like bar fights or anything. And they do start to slowly empty out towards the exit, as they just don't want any part of this. But as you go in, smack it right in the middle of where the body is parted, and you actually rip this body zipper down lower. As electricity pulses through the body and the flesh, it starts to just judder and twitch. And you have it in the middle there, and you rip it out, and a chunk of the flesh kind of falls onto the ground as you've done a massive gaping wound into its body, and it staggers and hits the back of the wooden wall there.
Oh, I'm so sorry, sir, but I don't think you're much of anything anymore. That's my turn.
And then we'll go over to Repo, getting in the mix as well.
Oh yeah, they're sorry I'm not. The bottom of Repo's revolver, there's like a little tab that he flicks, and when he flicks it, a little flame comes up, so he uses that to ignite the cigarette in his mouth.
This is an emergency.
And Repo's bullets are a little bit special made. They were designed so that when they interact with this shade, with this dark magic, the bullet itself hardens. It's not so much they're made of metal, they're made of like a harder dust. If it hits someone who doesn't have shadow, it's almost like a rubber bullet, and it spreads out. It's been a very interesting and kind of dangerous way to check if someone's tainted or not. These ones, probably more so. So as that bit of flesh goes out, Repo then lights the cigarette and takes a shot at the chunk that just got taken out.
Awesome.
By
Make me a
Tony.
strike roll.
Cool. Is that strike or would that be control?
Oh, actually, good point.
Since that
Yeah,
is shooting.
because it is a shoot as well, so it is your choice.
Cool. So then I'm going to use a drive. So that'll be 2 die for me. That is a 2 and a 6.
Ooh, awesome. So that is a success. So you go in there,
Yeah.
light the gun, and as soon as the gunshot goes off, any patrons that were in the bar, like, oh, it's probably a bar fight, someone's drunk, they bam, bam, whoa, and they just freak the F out and start running out the door down the street of the small town. And where the bullet penetrates into the wound that was made by Tony, it like scatters and hardens in place and just rips that wound even wider. And you can see that the veins from the bullet wound start to cover all over this green living corpse of a body as it starts to turn the body into ashes like a spreading virus as it kind of staggers for a minute. And in a moment you see the visage of the human come back once, just for a split second.
You were kind of handsome. What's in your pockets?
Don't take his clothes.
Sam, And the charcoaling goes up the arm and is going up the neck, and he's about to combust.
I'll take his hand.
You take his hand for a minute.
I'll take
What do you
his
want to
hand.
say to him in this moment?
She's right behind you. She can hear you.
He can't. He can't.
Yeah.
And
Say something.
I love you, Sam. Now and for always. And the charcoal hand creeps up to the hand that you're holding as it slowly starts to splinter. As the face takes over into almost a charcoal-like stone. And then the body breaks into dust. Falls to the ground. Sam, the bartender, on his back, starts to weep. Repo, as you come out with Tony, what do you want to
sorry.
say here?
I'm sorry, Sam. But he was it whatever it was going to eat you. And I didn't want to let it.
What is happening here? What is happening here? Why is this happening to us? Why? And he's just kind of on the ground, back towards back towards the main part of the bar. Is just kind of in a, holding himself a little bit. Just doesn't have any answers for what just happened and is trying to find the words. As Booker Davis comes and meets you all, he's like, this is the shit that's been happening. This is the shit that's been happening all over this place. We have to do something. We have to stop it. We have to get inside there and end this once and for all. These people, they don't deserve this.
Get inside where?
R-Corp. I haven't been into that mining operation yet. I haven't been able to get past security, but...
What have you tried?
I know that... Well, I've been able to chat up some of the workers that are... Some of the miners that are down there. They wear these hazmat suits as they go in. I can try to acquire us some and maybe try to sneak in through the front door or get in through the access elevator. Find out what the source is and we can eliminate it. I can try to rustle us up maybe some dynamite. Just end this.
Or perhaps I can offer my services as a professor of chemistry, and they'll let me in with doors open wide, and then I'll sneak in the dynamite myself.
You're a chemist.
That's right.
Is anyone here good at forging documents?
Yeah.
How did I know it would be you, Repo?
Look, I've got incredible penmanship.
That is true. I do enjoy reading your poetry from time to time, and the flourish of which you write is quite beautiful to
Oh, he's shown me some of it. It's wonderful. It reminds me of Yeats.
I guess it's not that secret then.
I'm drunk. It's different. Oh, look,
I especially love
Where's
the
the whiskey?
alliteration.
Incredible.
Has everyone here read my poetry?
That's what the nights are for, right?
Tony-
Like,
Yeah.
we have whole evenings. Oh, is that why you're never there, Repo?
I'm sorry, Repo. We never would have held the poetry readings if we realized they were secret. You're just so good at what you do.
No, it's fine.
My favorite
fine.
was
I
probably
don't care.
Two Birds and the Swallow. Oh,
Shut up! Regardless, the penmanship was excellent. That is true. So, if anyone has forgery skills, it would be you.
I'll get on it right away.
What are we forging?
Bunch of walnuts.
So
we
if you're able to forge some documents, we could possibly get the doctor here inside. They value chemists more than anything to help concoct the products that they're making at the factory. If we can get in as a possible prospect, you might be able to meet Cecil himself, and maybe he'll give you a tour of the facilities.
Cecil?
The rest of you are in hazmat suits. You could be the CEO of our corp at this jurisdiction.
I feel like I could bring at least one more member of our circle as my assistant.
Yes, of course.
Well, Clara seems rather scholarly.
Also talks a lot with big
I'm
words.
looking
Very
at the
big
doc
words.
with just like the widest, most hopeful eyes.
What do you say, Miss Valentine? Would you like to pretend to be my assistant? I promise I shall treat you with the utmost respect.
I would be thrilled.
Excellent. Then we have a plan.
I'll give you anything else that you might need. I don't have much on me here. If I go within 10 feet of that place, they're gonna spot me right away. I can make sure Sam's safe though, because believe you me, when these occurrences happen, anyone who witnessed it don't stay around or up for long. Magically disappear. I can keep Sam safe. Sam, you might have to close the bar. And Sam's just kind of incoherent, just kind of sobbing in Davis's arms.
I'm
Please.
gonna go take care of things. I'm whispering to Repo. I'm gonna go take care of things behind the bar.
I try to give Tony my gun.
I don't need that, but thank you.
Old-fashioned way.
And I open the door to their homestead. And
Okay.
I go.
What was it like to do?
Behind. I'm kind of observing the body, seeing if it has like turned back into a normal humanoid form, or if it's still like in that super grotesque state. What am I
Yeah, so
looking at?
with the combustion of the bullets, its reaction to this body full of gruesome magic amalgamation and contortion, the body does not change back after that attack. The charcoal reaction just remains dust piled on the floor. And you can still just see, almost like a stained glass doll, just a piece of their eye.
I'm gonna take some of the bed sheets, and I'm gonna wrap up the husband. Kind of do it as best I can so that they're in the shape of a person. So they still kind of resemble. I'll put in padding as I need to, pillows, blankets, just to make it look like a normal silhouette of a person. And I'll wrap that in bed sheets tightly, so that they're not having to deal with the end result of both the transformation and also how we dealt with it.
I'm also going to, since we've seen a slight neutralizing effect through some, weak whiskey, I'm going to take the strongest alcohol I can find in the bar. I'll probably have to consult Repo, and I'm going to sort of pour it on the floor around where the husband was
But give
getting
me like
gooey.
half.
Yeah, so you use the whiskey to kind of clean up the event that happened here. And you're able to sort of, you're not, you're very much used to kind of dealing with these situations, having to clean up the mess that sometimes occurs when Candela and these forces meet. The whiskey doesn't seem to have any adverse effect, it cleans the stains off the floor. But you kind of get an idea that because the occurrence with the touching of the skin with that substance was so fresh, that it seemed to stop it a little bit, but people who are long exposed or have a bit more doesn't seem to do very much.
We could burn it.
We should probably let. What was the bartender's name? Was Sam, right?
Yep.
We should probably let Sam handle the sayings of the goodbyes. Yeah.
May I say that you suddenly hear a small voice behind you, like...
Is everyone coming in here? I thought I was going to be in here by myself. Then Clara walks in, then Repo walks
I'm
in,
sorry.
and Whisper
We're
walks
having a
in.
meeting.
Is somebody out there with Sam?
This is Brady Bunch, or just three heads that come around the door. Doo-doo-doo-doo.
I was just wondering if I could focus on the body for a little bit.
Of course.
Suppose.
Should I roll for that? I got 2 circles in focus.
Yes, so you can roll 2d6. If you have a diamond darkened, you can make one of those gilded.
I do.
You can also, that means a different color d6, so you'll do 2d6, one different color than the other, just to make sure you know which one's gilded. If you have any drives you'd like to add to this, you may, of those little skinny rectangular bits that are behind the side intuition.
Oh, no, never mind.
When do the drives refill?
So when you, if you roll with a gilded die, and you choose the result of that gilded die, that refreshes one drive.
Okay. My gilded one got 4 and the other one got 3.
So the 3 would be a fail, the gilded would be a mixed success. So that's the better result. So you could pick that mixed success and also refresh a drive.
I'll do that.
Okay. So you get to refill that drive that you spent. What was it you're trying to ascertain with that focus?
General knowledge.
General knowledge.
I just want to look at the body for a bit and see if anything sticks out to me.
Yeah.
As a dead person yourself.
You.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, a lot of this inspection is more intuition, and it's more feeling it in here. You stare down at the remaining pieces of this body. And even though there's just like a section of the face kind of broken out from the body, just staring into the eye, you can connect with it a little bit, even though the soul has passed on. One of those special connections that you only possess. And you get a sense of relief. You get a sense of moving on. You get a sense of that person is at peace. They no longer have to deal with the pain, the heartache, the struggles of this illness that was brought on upon them. They've gone on to a better place.
Oh, well, I'd like to go pass on that information to Sam. You all can continue the investigation.
I wrap the face kind of back up.
And, Doctor, I will give you this as well as you're kind of cleaning up the scene, getting ready to move on to the next part here. With your intuition, you're able to know that residue from magic and these creatures can sometimes have very positive effects when dealing with these monsters in dark situations. If you would like, I would allow you to rip a bit of that bed sheet that had some of the green sweat in it, and use that to your advantage at a point of your choosing, if you like.
Yes, absolutely. As a man of science, this magic mumbo-jumbo always befuddled me, but if it is to be my benefit, then I shall take this green sweat. And how might I apply it?
Light it on fire, hope for the best.
Well, I love lighting things on fire. Let's put it in the middle of the room so that it's, let's take it outside. I think it's a little bit safer there.
Okay.
So I walk out front.
You can. I'm gonna hand Doc my lighter.
Thank you.
So again, I'll just reference this sort of makeshift item that you have. It's probably going to be really good against fighting something from the flare.
So what you're saying is I shouldn't light it on fire right now. It's just when we're in a fight, I should light it on fire and then throw it at the opponent?
Ooh.
All right. Then I will just keep it in one of my many pockets and pouches and bags. Saving it for special occasion that hopefully we never need it. But I feel like in this town we will.
Perfect. So as Whisper goes over to Sam and sort of gives them that calming, condoling message that their partner has gone on to a better place, you see Sam's kind of trying to control themselves from the convulsing, and you just kind of kneel down, and the rest of you don't really hear Whisper, as you're ought to not, but you can tell that the whole demeanor of Sam starts to calm down, and what fraction of peace they can get from that message they hold on to. and Sam just holds your hand tightly, Whisper, as they just give you a bit of an embrace. As you're able to kind of hold them back up. Now.
And I'll rejoin the group.
Join the group. So.
They just need time.
What would you all like to do now? You've got somewhat of a game plan here. We've got forged documents. We've got a couple aliases with Valentine and the Doctor here as chemists, possibly for recruitment for the R-Corp. We have some potential hazmat suits that could be given out to the rest of the party here to be able to enter into the building with them. How would you like to proceed?
Well, we could go introduce Repo to the big titty herbalist.
It's a good idea. Could investigate the persimmons.
I would also like to know if she's made any breakthroughs when it comes to healing these afflictions.
Oh, she absolutely has.
Well, how do
You
you
can see it in
know?
her face.
You
She's
weren't
got some
looking at her
scar tissue
face,
that-
Repo.
I'm a very multifaceted individual.
Rico, you have
I see a
entirely
wonderful
too
person.
many wingmen. I want you to consider me an anti-wingman.
Look, that's called a tail. But if you look at her face, there's like scarring that's healed over. So, assumedly, she's probably got some way to heal it. That or she's a demon.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Has anyone else in this town... Does anyone else have scars that are healed over?
Didn't look.
You didn't clock any particularly. The ones that were lining up for in line for the herbalist shop seem to have like ongoing afflictions, and that's why they're kind of revisiting them. But you haven't seen anyone in town that had like healed scars like they did.
Something smells of a snake oil salesman, if you ask me.
I am concerned that all of our plans thus far involve stopping the spread, but not curing what already has spread.
Oh.
You might have just let it run its course.
Usually in the past, there's been some kind of source, right? Like we destroy the barrel and the whiskey goes. But if we leave the barrel there, then the whiskey keeps flowing, right? So we have to destroy the barrel, whatever that is.
What barrel?
It's a
what?
metaphor. You remember in the poems? Yes.
Oh, yes, of course, yes.
I just...
I need real bullets.
They're people with lives, and I don't very much like the thought.
I mean, they
of
were.
Leaving more
Well,
to that fate.
I mean, we could destroy the source and then cure who else needs to be cured. But maybe before destroying the source, we discover how we can cure the people. I do believe questioning the young lady herbalist could be beneficial, but also I think getting right in there would be good as well. This all seems like we have 3 different options. All could be done one at a time or simultaneously.
Well, it sounds rather dangerous, but also kind of exciting. Would we like the wingman and Repo to go talk to the herbalist, while the assistant and the scientist try and get into Radiant Corp? You didn't really have a place for us in
I
that
think
plan
it's
anyway.
best if we make preparations there while you figure out what's happening with the Persimmons woman.
And
But here, wait, so we each got a little device? Did I hear that right?
yes.
Yeah, so the doctor was able to, from the residue left over from the body, ripped off a piece of that blanket, or that sheet, and has wrapped it up and is kind of held it onto their person for use at a time that's best suited for you.
Oh, I thought somebody earlier said like each of us could like pick
Oh, sorry.
little
Yes, your
guy
gadgets.
device.
My mistake.
Gadgets,
Yes.
And I can pick what the gadget is?
Pretty much. There's a list there, but if you,
Can it
for the
be
purposes of
a
this
walkie-talkie?
session, because I love creation and everything, what was one of the 3 things that you have on you?
Could it be a walkie-talkie?
For sure.
A little
I'm willing
radio.
to use 2 slots for that.
Sure.
Okay, here, take this walkie-talkie.
And it is like massive. It's like an 80 cell phone with like a crank on the bottom to like power it up before use so you can get a charge out of it
Good
with a
thing we have
massive
Mary Poppins
antenna.
bag.
Can it be like a backpack, like a Ghostbuster
Yes,
situation?
better. I like that. So you have kind of a small backpack with like a battery in it that's like a wind up that has a big cord on the end of it that has like a slot on the end.
Oh my god, imagine
That
a
won't
whisper
look
with this.
suspicious at all.
Yeah, well, Doc.
Good to go? Good to go?
All right,
and once we're done, we can maybe meet you in the mines with our suits on that Booker got us.
Yes, now do we have 2 extra suits for Clara and I to don after whatever happens inside?
I think perhaps we might have to
Who
source
knows?
our
Maybe
own.
the
I mean, we can get them. That's easy. People die all the time.
Okay, again with the murder.
Lose or hey, or lose their clothes all the time. Yeah.
Tony, this is going to be difficult for you, I
Yeah.
understand, but I need you to try your very best to stop Repo from getting along well with that
I
woman.
understand that much. Yeah. Of course. Well, we are on a
Focus.
bit of a time crunch. I
from-
understand.
from-
I will be the tail.
Okay. So we've got the groups splitting. I'm taking it. One part of you going towards the herbalist shop with Misfit Simmons, and the rest of you going up to R Corp headquarters.
Correct.
All right. So as Booker Davis is able to acquire you some hazmat suits to be able to go in and follow the trail of the Doctor and Valentine, which one of you would you like to go first? Do you want to do R Corp first or herbalist first?
We could roll for it.
I would love that. Group versus group.
Right.
who's rolling?
I'll roll for the
Doctor,
persimmons
you roll.
lady. That's a 3. How do we do? Higher
Yeah,
goes first?
4.
I guess?
Boom.
There it is.
Okay. You
Okay.
go first.
So as you split up, you've gone back to Booker Davis's place of residence. He's able to give you some of the hazmat suits. You have those forged documents that Repo made in the sort of downtime you have here, with a document with like your picture that's taken and information of your credentials and where you've come from, and some forged employee documents that gives you backup for an interview process, things like that.
I like the
And
idea
so-
that yours are all real and mine are all fake.
As we go up towards the gondola, as you start to ascend towards the entrance of the R Corp building, you can see on the bottom, in the middle of the town, you start to see Repo whisper in Tony, or is it Repo and Tony?
Repo
Going to
whisper.
herbalist.
I'm muted.
Repo, Whisper, and
Repo,
Tony.
Repo whisper and Tony. Yeah.
3 to Herbalist, 2 to the R Corp. So as you go up towards the entrance of the headquarters here, like I said, kind of like a steampunk version of an Apple store. It looks a bit futuristic for kind of a turn of the century, 1920s kind of vibe. There's like steel apparatuses like drilled into the sides of this wooden and concrete building with smokestacks and steam and everything
Pneumatic
rising up from it.
tubes.
But when Yes, many tubes, many tubes where you can see like messages kind of being sorted through various buildings and compartments and things like that. But the windows are very, very high. Like you can see kind of a front desk that goes into very crude, not crude, but an elevator system that kind of goes between various floors. And the windows are all exposed. So you can kind of see as you're going up towards it, many desks and people sort of running about doing their 9 to 5s. And then sort of a base that's built into the ground of the mountain that seems to go inside of it. And as you kind of ascend towards the front doors here, the windows are sky high. You go in, it's a pretty beautiful look over the mountainside from this view. The sun has now started to peek out from the cloud cover. It's no longer sprinkling of rain, that kind of nice cold fall sun that's coming down with a little bit of wind wisping through. And the two of you are just walking straight beeline for the front desk or anywhere else you'd like to try to go. I'll leave that up to you.
On the way, like a little scheming, make a little plan. I reckon if you, Doctor, I believe if you, of course, do the talking, you can see what information you can pull out of him through conversation, and I can slip into the background, see what I can find with my eyes.
Well, yes, although I was going to introduce you as my assistant.
Oh, I'll be there at your side the whole time. I just, hopefully if you're engaging them in conversation, they won't be paying quite so much attention to any plans I rifle through.
Excellent idea. All right, well,
okay.
Let's walk right up to the front. Because according to these papers, we belong here. And that's how we're going to act. So I walk right up to the front desk. What do I see?
All right, so you see a fairly large, dark mahogany desk, beautiful detailing. You see a typewriter of a receptionist feverishly going to work. No telephones in this world, but there's a bit of a Morse code device where they're kind of tapping on it, getting messages out, going back to typing on the typewriter. And there's many gears and clockworks that are kind of on the outside of it that are constantly slowly turning and juddering. So the receptionist doesn't have to throw the thing back to come to a new page, just going kind of doing it almost automatically.
Quite impressive.
And there's lots of people kind of coming to and fro, people in suits. There's a couple of guards as well, just with batons at their sides, and some what look like guns on holsters as well, just kind of standing there with their arms kind of at their side. You walk right up to the receptionist. What do you want to say?
Greetings and salutations. I am Dr. Rupert Pemberton Smith, Professor of Chemistry, and this is my assistant, Miss Clara Valentine. We are here for employment. You will see these papers that were delivered to me at the university to request my appearance here today. And I hand her the forged documents. I don't say that part out loud, though, that they're forged.
Thank you for the forged documents. So yeah, they put their hand out, collect it. Who are you here to see, Doctor?
Why, it says right there on that paper, does it not?
You have a meeting with Cecil? I didn't see any meetings for today. Oh, chemist.
Yes.
Okay. And what's your name there, miss?
Oh, my name is Clara Valentine. I'm a research assistant of the good doctor.
Okay. Right, well, just calls over one of the guards. Do you mind just staying here a moment? I'm just going to double check something.
No problem at all. Take all the time.
Goes and walks away for a moment, and you can kind of start to feel that rumbling again. But for you in the R-Corp, it's like you see the lights dance back and forth. You see the lights flicker on and off. And it's very like everyone in the building kind of like holds on to something for a minute and then just kind of like goes back to what they're doing. You kind of hear whispers of people like, it's gotta get a bit louder these days. Yeah, that's so weird. Oh well. Walks about their day. You see that the woman kind of goes to the end. Behind the desk, there's kind of like a narrow hallway There's stairs going up to other levels, and there's 2 sets of doors of elevators, pinging people coming in and out. And there seems to be some type of communication device on the other end of the wall that seems to have kind of a monograph ping into it. So kind of like a modified telephone almost, but for
itching
Morse
to examine
code.
all of them, but she doesn't.
And you just see the woman kind of put the earpiece to their head. And, all right. Puts it on, walks back over to you. Yes, Cecil, right?
That is correct.
Okay, well, he's downstairs in the mining operation at this moment, overseeing some of the operations. Would you like to meet him down there?
Very well, it should be fine. Do we need some sort of protection?
We have a room, a containment room with suits that you can wear, but it's perfectly safe. It's just more of a formality.
Well, you can never be too safe.
Or too full.
I didn't make it this far being not safe. You might say reckless is something that is not in my vocabulary, even though I just said it.
Okay. So the two of you willingly go down there. Dale, was there anything you wanted to try to clock while you were in this room, as you said, just to see anything while they were all waiting?
I'm just kind of scanning everything, and even though I desperately want to be like trying to figure out how various bits of this tech work, I'm actually keeping my eyes peeled for like security measures and, guards, that sort of thing.
Yeah, so you can see 2 that are up here. You do see sometimes a couple guards come out from the elevator and walk around, and some go in and go down. But there's not like a huge presence at the entrance here. It's more of just like for looks' sake, just to make sure everything's smooth. But the guard presence up here is very light.
And
But there seems
employees
to be an
sort of
activity
just come and go.
Kind of, yeah. And you do see a couple of hazmat suit workers come out of the elevator from the lower grounds and just taking their helmets off and then walking around. This seems to be not a danger at this point, that maybe didn't go down into the furthest depths of whatever is happening here. But it's a busy sort of hub.
Okay.
All right. Going into the elevator?
Let's go.
All right. And we'll just have someone escort you so you don't get lost, so you can make it down to the proper level. Would you like to escort off our new friends here?
Hold
and
on.
one of the guards starts to walk towards you. Yes, Doctor.
Could I make some sort of check to make sure this all seems legitimate and that we're not being set up in some way?
Make me a read roll.
Very well. I think I'm going to add one of my drives to it, if that's okay.
Yep.
Neither are these gilded, though, right? It's just two rolls.
Yeah, if you got whatever the dark circle is, that's how many d6s you have. If you had a
Only
darkened
one.
diamond beside read, then it would be gilded.
I have one. I have no diamond,
There
but
you
I'm
go,
going
so
to
it's
add
1d6, unless you want to add a
I
drive.
want to add a drive, please.
All right, there you go, so that's 2.
All right, I get a 6 and a 4.
You get, like, the documents were pretty foolproof. The fact that they couldn't find a meeting in the books is just a little odd. So they're not on to you necessarily, but they're just kind of covering their butts.
All right. Very
And
well.
as you all go towards the elevator, the guard comes with you. Doors start to close. And we cut over to the herbalist shop. 3 of you approaching. The line now spread thin. There's not as many people waiting at this point, like 1 or 2. How would you like to approach?
Maybe we could try and cut the line and just speak to her as she's working on people.
Sure. What would you like to say?
Is she there?
Yeah, so as you go inside, there's a bit of a waiting area. A couple people sitting on a couple of chaise lounges. there's sort of a makeshift reception desk and a door off to the side where they see their patients. There's nobody there, but the woman kind of comes out from behind the door wearing this kind of nurse's frock with these sort of pillowy shoulder pieces and the smock kind of on this long white dress with this tight belt around the waist and the smock still on there. These leather gloves on their hands. Takes off this mask. All right, well, that should do you good for a few days. Just let me know if it gets any worse. The salve should be fine, though. And as the Miss Fitzsimmons comes towards you, what would you like to say?
Hello, miss. We are the splendid, spectacular, sexy circle of sophistication, and we just had a couple of questions for you.
Oh, sure. Did you have an appointment?
Oh, no, we can walk and talk if that's easier for you. We'll only take up a few minutes of your time.
Oh my god, we're paparazzi. Great.
Yeah, make me a sway roll.
Why I keep doing that? I don't have any circles, so that's disadvantage.
Hold on, I'm gonna add a drive to you by whispering. Oh, we saw somebody explode.
We saw somebody explode.
You did? What do you... explode? Like boom, explode?
Yes, and we're currently investigating that, and we just had a couple of questions.
Huh. Sure? Yeah,
I will say all questions are relevant to the investigation. What do you look for in an ideal sexual partner?
Oh my god.
I thought I was the tail.
don't know if I want to disclose that. What does this have to do with people exploding?
Oh, we are not at liberty
Nothing.
to say.
You can say that, but you can't say why people are exploding.
I don't know, I've never been a wingman before. I'm panicking a little.
Dude,
Told you.
why did you lead?
I don't know. I don't have a lot of sway.
A wingman is a support role,
I
Whisper.
just got really excited to meet somebody new. Maybe somebody else should take over.
I am so sorry.
On second thought, I got a busy day. Maybe we can have an appointment tomorrow. You can check up with my assistant. They're not here right now. They called in sick the other day, or messaged me sick. Listen, I got a busy day. Do you guys mind, or?
What is your assistant's name so we know who to ask
Jennifer.
for? Jennifer, thank you. What was your name?
Well, my colleagues call me Miss Fitzsimmons. Friends call me Gloria.
Apologies, Miss Simmons. Hopefully one day we will ask better questions to make you feel more comfortable as Gloria.
This is Repo. He really respects privacy.
Okay, it's weird when you have to say that, Whisper. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah, and I do now.
Yeah, you're doing great.
Thank you.
You're doing great.
Thank you. I know I'm not.
Well, thanks,
Look,
Mr. Simmons. We'll go reach out to Jennifer. Did you have to deal with any of this?
Like myself?
Yeah.
Yes, I have. At certain points. There's something rolling through this town that we can't really explain. We're trying to figure out the source of it. I got afflicted myself, but through the healing power of herbology and roots and the mashing of certain ingredients, I was able to heal myself, and with some help from our corp, was able to find some salves and things that would really help the people here.
Okay. There's a notion of me that's like checking to see if her eyes twitch at all or if the like lip curls up. If this is sincere.
Yeah, you want to make a read?
I would love to. And I'm going to put a drive in there.
So did I hear that right? She is helping the people with the help of Radiant Corp?
She was healed with the help of Radiant Corp. That is a 5.
Mixed success. So you do get a sense of, upon being questioned, that she feels a little uncomfortable. And you get a sense of, like, I've got other things to do. All of a sudden is getting you very, like, you probably just see me tomorrow. At first, very welcoming, very open. That visage that you saw when you first met her suddenly just switches, and she's very much like, yeah, we'll talk tomorrow. Like, it'll be fine. Like, we'll talk to Jennifer, and it'll be like, okay, thank you. I got help from other people. Like, it's very, like, rushing a little bit. Like, there's a turn happening.
Well, Miss Simmons, just so you know, there are other options for recovery that might be a little bit less strenuous as what our mutual acquaintance might provide.
What's that?
But that's only if you're interested. Notice, I don't have any scarring.
Oh.
And Repo's basically trying to convince her to believe that he's been healed in ways that didn't leave any remnants of, like, that infection.
Wow, okay. Make me a sway roll.
I'm going to put in 2 drive, because I have fears. 6.
6.
1 6.
So as soon as you say that, you're like, you say it with such conviction and directness. Like, your eyes don't twitch. You mean the truth when you say that. And you have? And you got a 6, correct?
Yes.
With that 6, I'll also give you this. You say that to her with complete conviction, and she doesn't seem elated. She doesn't seem like, holy crap, I found a cure. She's like, wow, that's interesting. We have to have a talk at some point. We'll have to find out how you were able to beat this thing. I haven't been able to figure that out in all this time. It's been a bit of a short affliction. At that moment, the rumbling takes hold. Louder. The pictures on the wall start to rattle. Another blast. Not just one and it goes away. Keeps happening. You look at Miss Fitzsimmons. Gloria just starts, what was, excuse me, one moment. Goes over to the side of the cabin, puts up a window and looks out. Smoke is rising out of the rocks on the cliffside. And then huge explosion starts to befall the town of Morton Springs from the cliffside. Rocks are sailing into the sky, hurtling down. Loud, huge explosions. You go outside and you start to hear screams from the town. As you all start to look outside, you see the doctor and you see Valentine running with all fury down the main strip of the town. And this humongous black oozing creature with a maw as big as 2 buildings wide just falls out, and you see tentacles swaying out from it with otherworldly, like sickly green beings that you saw earlier attached to it as they all start to just run out from the base as it falls down to the ground. What would you all like to do?
Oh, reload my gun.
Keep running!
City's haunted.
Keep running.
So
What can we do?
So this is like a kaiju. This is not like something that like.
It's not 2 buildings wide. Not literally. It's just a massive creature.
Big thing. Okay.
Like maybe like 2 elks like put together, like that kind of size. Like it's a massive, huge thing that just bursts out from the rock face, and this sort of collection of tentacles that it had made it seem like a giant writhing bowling ball as it just exploded out of the mountainside with the doctor and Valentine running the stuff that went down in the laboratory went sideways. You were able to get into the mining operation, and there was something wrong with the contraption that was containing this beast. Plugs were being socked into it, extracting its fluid to gain whatever essence it needed to make this undark. But the flickering of the mining blasts shook the electronic power that was holding this thing, and it shut down for a moment and just escaped and just broke free. And as it's coming down into the middle of the town, its tentacles sort of wrapping around town folk as it starts to make its way towards you, what do you all want to do?
Is it possible to gather a motive of this creature using a read roll?
I will just give you that right away. This is some otherworldly creature from the flare itself. You've encountered beasts like this before. The shadows sometimes mimic animals from our world, or sometimes have contusions of its essence meet with ours. It looks like a beast you might have encountered before, but its essence was being bled into the riverside here, and now it's free. But you have tools to combat it. You have ways that you can go about bringing it down.
But this thing needs to die.
Looks like it, or if you can find another way.
Could I?
I think it's...
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Clara.
I was just gonna say, can I have a little flashback moment with us in the lab? So Clara has a touch of the psychics about her, and sometimes when she touches items, she experiences psychometry, which is like witnessing the history of an object. Can I say that when I was in the lab, I made sure to put hands on the containment unit and sort of flash through the history of how they were containing this thing?
Yes, absolutely. So as you were able to go in there and connect to that flashback presence, they dug deep into the mine and found this thing as a little babyling, a little small, little cub of sorts, and were able to notice that it got cut, and saw that some of the green vial coming from it had weird properties and was like reacting to certain chemicals. So they studied it and found a way to use it in products, make things brightly glow green and things like that. And we're using it in new products, and it was getting such a reaction from the public that they contained it and just kept extracting fluid from it. But in its containment unit, it just grew and grew and grew, and they kept building around it to try to contain it where it is. But it was just, there wasn't enough space in the ground where they found it, so they had to explode the rock around it to make more room. And as they made more room, the apparatus had to be built to contain it. And it was a teapot that was steaming, and eventually it just got to such a point that they couldn't hold it, and the blasts were starting to make circuitry short out, and
so containment is no longer an option.
Seemingly not, but there are other ways to control a beast. And this is where I will throw it out to you. How do you want to go about dealing with this threat? All options are valid.
I would like to throw one of my sleep grenades at it.
Sleep grenades at it? Okay. Does anyone else want to participate in this?
I'm just lighting up my billy club again.
And
running out to mainly try and protect Doc and Clara.
Thank you. While I'm handing the Doc his little, any little pins and things that he needs to set up his grenade, I'm just basically being the extra pair of hands.
Okay.
I also, if the Doc has, I also want the Doc to try to throw up one of the concussive grenades, so that I can hit it. Because if it's above the creature, it's only going to have force to go down. Hopefully slowing it down a little bit, shifting it, debilitating it, something.
Okay, sounds great. Make your rolls. A lot of you, this will be strike or control. If anyone else, if Whisper wanted to contribute into this, you're more than welcome to.
I have an idea if this goes badly.
Sweet,
but
okay.
Otherwise, I'm not sure there's much I can do to help.
He's gonna drive here.
So I'm going to go with the sleep one first. to see if that will just get it to go down. But I'm going to add my final. I used a drive earlier. I'm going to use one more. So I have one circle in control and a diamond. So
sweet.
Does that give me 3 or 2?
So if you have a diamond beside your roll, one of your rolls will be a gilded die. So the gilded die isn't an extra die; it just replaces one of the die you have.
I see. All right, but I'm going to add another one anyway. So I now know which is gilded and which isn't. So here we go.
Okay.
The gilded I got a 4, and the regular one I got a 3.
Okay. And Gabe, what'd you get?
I got a 5.
And Tony, Wes?
I got a 6 on my non-gilded.
Okay. So, and Valentine, you're kind of holding back for a minute? Okay, so the three of you just start to charge this writhing beast. Its movement is otherworldly. Almost like the gravity of this world doesn't seem to pay attention to it. This massive black bowling ball just hurled itself across the air, landing and rolling into this land, tentacles spurring out all over the place, 4 hooved legs, massive maw that goes as horns are starting to grow out of its head, tentacles coming out, wisping and whipping all over. It starts to run towards you. Doctor, you throw your grenade, and it was a number again?
A 4.
A 4.
Gilded 4.
So it's a mixed success. And Repo, you want to shoot the grenade?
Yep.
And
or at least like if the sleeping one doesn't go the way the doc wants it to, saying like throw one up and then he'll shoot that.
Okay, sweet. So yeah, you run,
kind of like raining it down,
throwing all those up. You also have that hand wrap as well, Doctor, with the material on it as well. And you throw that grenade up. Repo, you line it up. You throw 3 grenades all at once, and Repo, you spin the gun. How do you want to achieve this? What style do you shoot it with?
It's that like where you like spin it up and then you
Band it out.
Just like, yeah, like patting it, kind of like, yeah, very like bandit wild.
So these grenades are kind of like glowing as you bring them out. 3 of them out. You're about to take aim and shoot. And Tony, how do you want to contribute to this with your baton?
So I'm just there making sure that Doc and Clara are safe.
Okay.
That is so whatever happens after this point, I'm kind of just reserving that 6 to protect them.
Gotcha. Okay.
From whatever the after effect would be.
So they go with this grenades. Repo with that shot. It connects with the beast. The explosion, the combustion of the magic bullet with the grenades just make this explosion of epic proportions. Blue and green lightning just sunder with a sonic boom. In all directions, parts of the beast split this way, split that way. It's an explosion this town's never seen. A blast radius wipes you all off your feet as boards from buildings start to slide and splinter off. Some bystanders kind of get the whip of the wind as they get pushed forward, but just skinned a little bit from the knee and the elbows, but still alive. And you see this thing just kind of like T to 1000, split in all directions, just kind of open for a minute. And it starts to fall. This beast is crawling with one hoof, tentacles down on the ground, wriggling. It's got moments of life left, but you did an incredible amount of damage with that combo. And with Tony kind of staying back to make sure his friends are safe. The beast is taken care of for now. Townsfolk start to come out from the streets to witness the abomination that ArcCorp has held within the mountain this whole entire time. There's no hiding this volatile act anymore, and everyone's in disbelief. They don't know what they're looking at. As the 5 of you look on, is there anything you want to do one more time? while this beast is somewhat still present.
I'm gonna reach back to Doc and say, Give me the sweat. Give me the cloth.
There you go.
And I'm gonna wrap it around my hand, or around my gloved hand, just wrapping it around, and then I'm gonna light it, almost like it's like one of those old timey bombs, or like a long stick of dynamite, and I'm gonna time it, walking slowly up to the beast, so that as soon as it connects with the actual cloth, that I throw a punch down to kind of finish off this beast.
And with that, I won't let you roll for this. You take that cloth, walk towards it, light it on fire like a Molotov cocktail, and just, with a mighty blow, blue and red magic tears it asunder and falls apart in a blast of fairy dust as the blue and green sparkles now dance above the sky below and start to rain on the town. Almost this eerie, fairy light moment that you have of the fantastical and the horror mixing together. You all stand there in the middle of this town, the street, as crowds of people start walking towards you, witnessing what just happened.
Is Gloria visible?
Yes.
This is going to be messed up. I'm going to turn my gun, aim it towards the ground, and look at her.
And as you...
All right, Gloria. We're both liars. So, if you're taking their money to lie to these people, be honest now. Otherwise, these bullets, well, they worked on that thing. I think they might work on you too.
And as the people all turn to Gloria, waiting for an answer, the jig is up. She has nowhere to hide. And as the camera pans up from the town into the clouds above, that gun in your hand, that's where we have to close out the session, everybody. Ha! I want to thank everyone who viewed this stream tonight. I want to thank everyone out there who joined us on a spooky Halloween weekend and donated to Make-A-Wish. I want to thank these amazing storytellers for joining me tonight. Thank you guys so, so very much. To everyone else, have a fantastic weekend. Join us next week, same time, for session 2. We'll see you then, everyone. Bye-bye.